Hello and welcome to Scale Modeling, and welcome to part 18 of our 1-200 Yamato Battleship build. And in this video we're going to take over from where we left off in the last video, which is doing these machine guns. So in the last video you would have seen we need to build 28 of these, and I couldn't get it done in that week for that video before I had to upload it. So here we are, almost done. Okay, they're almost done. Here's the 28 guns. There's actually 27 there because we built the first one completely there. All I need to do on these now are the seat on the other side and the control mechanism on the other side. There's just two pieces of photo etch. Unlike the side I'd done recently, there were three pieces of photo etch, which included the wheel they used to turn it. Excuse me. So yeah, so there they all are. Very time consuming and fiddly, but we're coming up around the final bend now, and I'm going to get these done now, and we'll come back and have a look at the finished product. Also, don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications bell so you get notified of videos when they come out. Give us a thumbs up at the end if you like this, and don't forget to comment below. Comments are great, really helpful, and I've been getting lots of great advice, tips and motivation to keep me going through some of the, let's just say, difficult parts. But we're almost there. All right, so I'm going to get these done now. We'll come back and we'll have a look at them, and then we can finally move on to another step and work out what we're going to do. And at this stage, what I'm thinking is it would probably be a good idea to get all these painted when they're done, along with the other ones we did in the last video as well. Get them all undercoated in the Outlaw Paints black primer, and then the pure Japanese grey over the top, because we're getting very close to the point where a lot of this can start getting put on the ship's superstructure, which is actually in the next step. 87 is putting them on, and yeah, so I'll give you a bit of a sneak preview. So pretty much, just carefully move these out of the way. So here we go here. So we're doing this here. This is the next one, which is putting them on. Mind you, it's not all of these. These go elsewhere on the deck. But for this superstructure base, these need to go on to there. This part here in step 88, we did that a long way back before I painted this, because I wanted to get those railings on. That's all it was. So that's already done. And then we get to step 89, which is this whole part going down on top of the deck finally, which means we can put our funnel, our bridge, radar, everything on that, so it's ready to go on there. But before I do actually put it down onto the deck itself, it might be a good idea, as it was suggested in my comments by a subscriber, that I start thinking about doing the rigging. Some of the rigging on this may be easier to access this before it's put on the deck, which is a very good point. So yeah, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. All right, I've got to finish these machine guns off. All right, enough talk. I think I'll get these done in the next hour or two, and I'll be back for you guys in about 2 seconds. Back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So it took me more than a couple of hours. It took me a couple of days, actually. So I got them done, finally. It's such a relief. In fact, doing the last one, my hands were shaking because I was so nervous. You know, it's usually the last one that you have problems with, isn't it? And but no, it's all good. We're good to go. So here they all are. They're all blue tacked down to my chopsticks that I'm going to use to hold them while I paint them. So there they are, the 28 of them. Fantastic. I'm going to put them in the Outlaw Paints black primer. Won't take long to dry, but I'll leave it for an hour. Then do the IGN grey from Outlaw Paints, and then on top of that, afterwards, I'll clear coat them, so they'll be completely done. Also, I'll just grab them and back in a sec. I'm going to paint all of these, which were from back in step 82. So we've got the range finders all on there. I'll get them done, and these range finders on here. Well, they're range finders. These are the other guns. And these ones here, also from step 82, it looks like. Yep, so I'll get all those painted up. And yeah, fantastic. And we can move on. All right, so I'll get these done. We'll come back and have a look at them after that's finished. Okay, back shortly. Okay, we're back, and they're painted in the Outlaw Paints black primer. Went on beautifully, as always. You can really just put it on as thick or as thin as you want. It's just beautiful the way it goes on there. So I'll throw some photos up because you won't be able to see these with the white background, and they're so tiny. But as you can see in the photos there, look all really good, eh? Like, I've taken those photos on my phone. I've not edited anything. That's just as I took the picture, just as sharp as I could with the macro lens on the phone. And that's what you get. So I'm literally going to leave these. I put a nice thick layer of paint on them because I wanted to make sure the photo etch was completely covered, you know, and I got into all the corners and that. So what I'll do is I'll leave these for about 20 minutes at the most, 20 minutes, and then we can put our Imperial Japanese grey on them and get them looking really, really nice. And until then, we'll come back and have a look at them when they're done. Back again shortly. Okay, welcome back. And here we are, all painted up. Did these about 10 minutes ago, and they come up really, really nice, like absolutely beautiful. And again, the Outlaw Paints grey went on like butter. It's just beautifully. And of course, I'll put the pictures up there, and you'll see I took photos of each. You can compare them to the ones we did with the black undercoat, and look how beautiful that grey is. And see how you see what I mean by doing a black base coat and then doing the grey over the top, is you get that shadow detail and that definition showing through in all the little nooks and crannies of the piece, particularly with the guns there, little darker areas that are in the recesses. It just makes them pop that little bit more. So yeah, looking fantastic. So I'm going to get these dry for a good hour. Then I'm going to hit them with clear coat, because of course these will all be weathered as well later on. But I'll get that clear coat on now, and then yeah, well, it won't look much difference with the clear coat because it'll just be a flat clear. But that'll just give the protection I want on there for when, or just the overall protection, and of course protection for the weathering later on. Okay, so yeah, once again, the paint is absolutely amazing. So, you know, if you're interested and you want to get hold of these Outlaw Paints that I'm painting the Yamato in, the link is always down there in the description. You can get this wherever you are in the world, directly from the website, or depending on where the stock locations are on the website, you can buy it from your local hobby shop. All right, I'm going to, like I said, go put the clear coat on these, and then we'll have a look at the instructions and where we got to go to and what we got to do with these. Back shortly. Hello and welcome back. So those parts are clear coated, they're drying, and I've just left them outside, and they're good, they'll be fine. Now what we're up to now is some part that I've been looking forward to, and that is building up the superstructure. We're at the point now where we can start putting on the bridge, put on the guns, put on most of the stuff onto that superstructure. So let me bring the superstructure base out, put it over here, and there it is there. Okay, all set to go. So now what we're doing is we're going way back to step 50, I'll pop that up in, probably up in this corner would be best, up here. And I'm just noticing the color changing on the monitor. I need to fix that. I'll be back 1 second. Okay, I hope that's better. I've just locked the white balance so it won't change. It should be right. Okay, so step 50, which is putting on this section here, which we built up earlier. And that goes down onto these positions here. Let me just grab that separate piece that we put together. Back in a sec. Okay, so there's the piece there. All ready to go on. Now all this was clear coated earlier, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Just a matter of putting them in their positions. So this one, it'd be hard to do this without getting my hands in the way, but let's see if we can just pop that on there. I think that's it. I got it first go. Just turn this around and check. And yep, that looks good. Looks very good actually. Okay, so let me just adjust the camera down a little bit. So I want to make sure this stays nice in focus. All right. Hopefully that's okay. Right, so to glue that down, all we're going to do is we'll get some cement. Now, the attachment point for this, I mean, I could glue all the way around there, but I don't want to risk it seeping out at all, getting onto any of the deck area, which shouldn't, but you know, don't want to take that chance. So what I'll do is I'll just put the glue in those points there where these pins goes through. Okay, I'll also put a bit on the back here. You can see that. I'll just hold that right. A bit on there because that's going to sit flush up against there. So I'll just give it a bit more of an anchor point. And I will run some glue along the back here because even if a bit came out, it's going to be in behind on that wall there and it won't be able to see it. Okay, so let's glue this on. Just put a good amount on there. That. And then, like I said, just lightly across the back here. Should be fine. Put some on there, some on there, and on that back panel as well. Okay. Place it like I did the first time. There we go. Almost went on first go, didn't it? All right. That's great. That's sitting there beautifully. I'm just going to leave that and let that sit until that locks down. That'll be fine. Okay. Very good. Moving on to, let me have a look at the instructions. Okay, so the next part is the major bridge section here, and this is where we're jumping forward to step 65. Now I've already done a test fit here, and there's something, if you happen to be building it in the order that I am, this ship, what you'll find is if you place that where it goes, which is again a perfect fit, there's a piece that goes in under here. All right, that's this one here. Okay, it's not going to fit with that in place. All right, so it's, even though the instructions, I should say in 64 will tell you to put that on, and then in 65 they tell you to put this on, this is not going to fit in there. Okay, main reason being because we've already put these supports here in and they're not shown in that on there just yet. All right, so the simple solution is simply we need to place that there like that, just push it forward a bit, and then you can place this. All right, so we'd be able to put that in place and glue that where it's going to go, and then it's just a matter of sliding that back, and that's going to go into its position perfectly. All right, that's how we'll get that fitted. All right, so I'll take this off. And yeah, the tricky part will actually, now that I think about it, will be getting the glue in there. I'm just trying to work that out to be able to glue this in place, because we won't be able to get in there too easily once this is on. Yeah, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? I could just probably use my little extended wire here and reach in there and place the glue down the sides and where it's needed. The other alternative is I could use my MIG ammo glue, which is a slower drying glue. All right, put that on now while I'm just placing that, and then slide that in and it'll be fine. That's probably the best way to do it. All right. Okay, or just get it all done at once. All right. So yeah, glue will go around on here. That'll go in, no problem. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Again, we'll get our cement. This. And I'm going to, first of all, again, sorry about the hands being in the way, but I'm going to put the glue on here first, which is just going to be a very light across there, down there. And really that's all that needs. Okay. Then we're going to put the glue, just looking at this, yeah, just around on here. This all the way. To there. Okay. There's a little bit of glue on here as well. Just to make sure it's going to sit nicely. That's it. I'm happy with that. All right. It should be fine. Yep, that's it. Put that in there. That's it. Then, like I said, slide that back into position. And I'll just hold that there for a moment. But otherwise, that sits so beautifully and flush. The fit is absolutely fantastic. Just check on the other side. Yeah, that's great. Absolutely great. That's good. All right. Now, cool. Now, you'll notice on the instructions that this radar array was attached to this when it's being fitted. I left that off mainly because I needed to paint and detail in there where all the binoculars were, but also the fact that I wanted an area where I could help me hold that down, push that down, and make sure it's in place. And that's just about, that's going to be fine. That's excellent. I'll leave this for about 10 minutes. And then we will put that at that radar section on the top, which is just here. I'll get it for you. Very detailed part with lots of photo etch on there. Sit there. And it will sit. And the first thing I got to do is make certain I'm putting it on the right way around, which is that way. And it's just going to sit straight in there. And like I mentioned before, it's all been test fitted. Be fine. I'm just going to have to get that camera up a bit more. Let's see. There it is there. Okay. So yeah, I'll just let this dry before I glue that on, and I'll have to make sure it's straight and everything, and we'll come back and have another look. Back in a sec. Okay, so there it is, all glued on. The top section's on. Took a little bit of work getting it straight, but it's all in position there. The little this platform out around here is all glued in. I ended up using CA glue and applied it with this and run it around the edges on both sides and then pressed it in, and it's set there, so no problem. Just a little bit stronger than normal cement, but there you go. All looking good. The next part we've got to look at is over in step 68 now, which I'll put in the corner, and that's putting the mast on. So the mast needs to go in place, which my instructions will turn this around this way. Is that right? Yeah. Same orientation basically. There's 3 little points in there where the mast posts go. That's where that has to go. So let me just grab that and we'll see how that goes with a bit of a test fit. Back in a sec. Okay, so this is extremely delicate and it needs to go down in there. Now I've already checked, and because of the extra layer of paint on there, these pins are not sliding in there as nicely as they should be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get my knife and just trim those up a little bit till they sit in there properly, and then we can attach it and glue it in. Otherwise it does fit really, really well, no problem. Well, nothing's come in contact where it shouldn't be, so everything's as it should be. It's going to sit like that, of course. So fantastic. All right, so I'll just go and trim these up and I'll come back in a second. Okay, be back shortly. Okay, so it was just at this point I realized that I hadn't painted the mast. Someone in my comments reminded me a couple of episodes back that the mast needs to be painted. It's only grey up there until the grids separate into 3, where it's all black. And I think there's a few white stripes on there too. Unfortunately, I glued it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to be able to paint it. I'll do a mixture of airbrushing it. I'll just protect around the areas, and then I'll hand brush where I need to. But we'll get that black on that mast in the next video. But yeah, completely forgot about that. Anyway, it happens. All right, yeah, so let's continue where we left off. So let's go to the next part, which is probably going to be the funnel, which is going to look good when that's sitting in there. Let me just grab that and we'll have a look at putting that on. Back in a sec. Okay, so here is our funnel, all ready to go in. So if you'd follow along and remember, I put that platform in here after the installation of the funnel, going by the instructions. We're in step 76 now. All right, but I knew that the funnel would still fit in there because I test fitted it. There's a ladder that actually goes up and attaches onto the front of the funnel here, which is already there in place, so that's ready just to bend down and put into place. So yeah, that's all we got to do is put this on, and I'm quite sure that I'll just get that ladder up first. And it broke off. I knew it would because I've been bending it up and down multiple times, having to maneuver this thing around, so it's no problem. I'll be able to glue that on. So I'll just grab that ladder. Here we go. We'll get this up here. Straight that. There it is there. We'll put that somewhere safe, or I'm not going to lose it. Where's a good place safe? There we go. There. Okay. So this will simply sit under that platform like that, and that's it in position there. That's exactly where we want it to sit. And yeah, doesn't that look good? All right, and that ladder, of course, I'll just attach that back to there, no problem at all. All right, so I guess I better glue that on, hey? Yeah, I'll glue that in place and we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so there's the funnel in place. I'll put that ladder back in there, and she's looking really good, eh? Very nice. Now we need to put some guns on here. So let me get myself organized here and work out which guns we're going to put in first. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so we've actually gone to step 83, put that up in the corner, where we can see parts 47 and 48, and they go down into these spots here. Okay, so 47 goes where that that's where that was those supports got in the way of putting in that platform under there. So that's part 47. So what I've done here is, here's the parts here. Before I painted them, I wrote underneath. Hopefully it's still written there. No, I didn't. Where did I write it? There's 47 and 48. I see. Yeah. So we've got the parts here to go in. Here. So yeah, so 47 and 48, and they're done, and they're put in place on both sides. So let me get those off the thing, because these are the ones I just clear coated not too long ago. So they should be dry now. So I'll put them on. Be back in a sec. All right, so I found number 47, and of course I labeled number 48 because they look almost the same. They go in position here. So let's put them on. Just a little bit of glue on there. That's a good tight fit. 47. Put this one in here. Oop. It's the clear coat that makes them a bit slippery. There we go. That. All right. Do the same on the other side. Okay. That's number 48, which will go on there. Yep. Always test fit, especially after a surface has been painted. There we go. Straight. And last one. Go in there. Yeah. Sorry, my finger's in the way. Not much I can do about that. Yeah. Done. Okay. Finished with those. Well done. Now, next, it looks like moving on to step 35. No, actually, there's more. We need to put pieces 49 on it, both sides. So here and on the opposite side needs these ones. I also labeled 49. Yeah, so these ones are going to go in there. And it looks like they will go like that. Just checking. Fine. Yeah, they do go there. They just don't. look like they fit properly. Try the other one. They are 49, so they are the correct ones. Let me just check. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I figured it out. So this goes on here, although it doesn't fit properly, which is strange. But yeah, that is where it goes. So we can still, it fits, but just doesn't sit in there like the rest do, you know. So that'll go in there. And then we've got these parts, these ones here, which do sit in position like that. That goes in there. These are all in step 83. So I'll glue these in, and then I'll do the other side. But this one, yeah, just have to manually get that in so it's straight. It's a tricky one, that one. But yeah, we can do that now. I'll do the others off camera. It's just a matter of, yeah. Pretty much that's it. As far as I can tell, that looks pretty good. I'll just check underneath. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Now the piece that fell off then was just a bit I had. That's the other side, which I'll do off camera. Okay, and then we'll attach this one here. And I'll just put a bit around that. Be the best way. Yeah, make sure it's straight. Good. All right, I'll just do the other side and we'll come back. Okay, so you may remember a couple of episodes back where I lost a piece, and that was the piece off the side of this rangefinder here, and it's gone. I've been right over my desk, all over the floor, can't find it, all right, unfortunately. But I do have another bit of plastic that looks similar, is not the same, but will be completely unnoticeable when I attach it and put it on there. So what I'm going to do, and this is the rangefinder that goes here, so we need to get this done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this attached on here. I'm going to paint it up as best I can and get that looking okay, and then we'll put it on there. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that piece, but yeah, it's certainly going to be easy to attach it before I put this on there. So I'll do that now, and we'll come back and continue on with more of these guns going on. Back in a sec. Okay, back again. So now we're moving on to step 85. In 85, we need to put these on that I labelled. They're parts 51 and 50 anti-aircraft guns, all right? So these larger ones will go down here. There'll be 3 on each side, and then the other ones go up in these spots here, and there'll be 3 on each side. So we'll just test fit one. So we got an idea. Pretty much, bang, there it is. It's sitting there like that. Fantastic. Easy. And then we've got these ones. These ones here, which will go pretty much in there. Yep, I'm going to go in there like that once they're all straight, of course. So yeah, excellent. I'll go along and I'll glue these in, and I'll probably do both sides, and that will complete step 85. Yeah, fantastic. Good. All right, back in a sec. There you go, halfway there. Got all those in their place. Is that in there perfect? No problem at all. I haven't done the other side yet, so I'm going to go back to it and I'll get the other side done. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, that's the other side done. Looking quite good. Now we move further on to step 87, where we get to put in these that we've just also clear coated. Okay, and these we had to make 8 of. We go 3 here, 3 on the other side, and then I was wondering, that's only 6, where do the other 2 go? And actually they go on the deck, down, I think it's back here somewhere. There's a couple of spots on the deck, so they'll get put in a box for later. But yeah, so these ones, which are now freshly clear coated, these ones will go here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I think they're probably pointing, just trying to get the direction. I'll need to have a look at some reference, but it does look like they're pointing out this way. So we've got that one, this one there. Yep, they drop in position, no problem at all. That one in there. Good. So I shall do as I do. I'll glue them in. I'll do the other 3 on the other side and we shall return. Back in a sec. Okay, so now staying on the same step 87, we've got to do those pieces number 52, which are all of these guns that we struggled to get through. It took me almost a week. So we need to put on 1, 2 there, 1 there and 1 on the other side, and it looks like where else do we need them? Yeah, down on here as well. 2 there and 2 on the other side. So these ones I'll carefully take off the correct number off our painting stick here, and we'll get some of them placed on there and have a look out to see how they look. Back in a sec. Okay, so that's those guns put on. You can see there's 2 there. Hand in the way. Those 2. This one on the other side. This one on the other side. And of course the other side there. Now I noticed there's a spot here missing, and I thought, oh, it goes there. And then I realised a couple of searchlights that we built back in step 75. There were 6 of them, and there was 4 placed in, I think, the following step, and then that left the 2, and these 2 will go here. So we've got 1 there and 1 on the other side. So I will take these out. 2 nice looking searchlights. And we'll just do a quick test fit. And it's going to go in there. It's going to go like that, and 1 on the other side. Beautiful. All right, I shall return once again. Okay, so the searchlights are on. Something I noticed that I'd forgotten I'd done when I put these together was that they can be rotated up and down. All of them too, the ones that were on there earlier, they can all be adjusted to where I want them. That's a nice little touch. Okay. All right, I will just tidy up a little bit here and we'll have a close look at what we've got done here. Back in a sec. Okay, back, and it's finished. As far as all the parts that go on there, as far as I'm aware, are all on there. And look at that, doesn't that look great? Yeah. How many guns did this ship have? Look at that. It's just, look at the firepower. Amazing. All right, so what I've done is I've put all the leftover little machine guns here which go on in the future instructions. They actually go in different areas on the deck, as far as I can tell. So I'll put those away safely somewhere. And this I'll put away safely because I don't want to be knocking it, particularly the mast here, which, yeah, I've already brushed it with my hand going past it, so I don't want that to happen anymore. So I'm going to put this away somewhere safe. Now, like I said before, I could do some rigging on here, and I'm not sure, there may be even some decals to go on here. I'm not sure about that, but there is rigging and flags and so forth. So this, I won't be putting this on the deck of the ship at this point. All right, so we are caught up to our instructions with everything, which is really, really good. There's no more sub-assemblies anywhere other than those guns, and then there's a couple of little range finders here that I showed you earlier. So they're to go on later, but we're all caught up. So now if we go over and look at step, 89 is basically putting this on the deck, which we're not going to do just yet. It's going to be a lot easier doing all the rigging without having to reach over the whole ship and do that. So we can get a lot of that done. Step 90 now is another section, as you can see there, needs to be put together and set up. There's some photo etch to go on that as well in the next step, and then that gets put down on the ship, which we will be able to do. And then it carries on to putting some of those smaller machine guns down on the deck. So won't be long now and we'll have the ship down on the bench, as we'll have to start working on it. Okay, so at that, having said all that, I think I'm going to end the video here. It's a little bit shorter than normal, but we've got quite a lot done. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to take some photographs of this and put them up at the end of the video, so you can have a bit of a better look than what the camera can provide. And yeah, we'll have a look through those. Other than that, thank you very much. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notifications bell. Also remember, I do my live streams on Friday, 6 a.m, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. You'll get notified of that if you've got notifications marked, and if you're subscribed. So you're welcome to join me on my live stream, where we can have a look at this in a bit more detail, talk about whatever. Let me know how your models are going, or what you're up to. And there's quite a lot of us get on there, and it's quite popular for about an hour or so. All right, so your comments are welcome down below. I don't need as much motivation as I needed before now that I've got all these little machine guns done. That was quite a task to do. But yeah, let me know what you think of this so far. Tips and suggestions, as I mentioned, none of this is weathered yet, but it is all clear coated, so there will be weathering done. I always leave that to the very, very end. This will most likely be on the ship before I weather it. It's just that if I was to do this separately weathered, it's got to blend in with the rest of the ship, and I want to be able to do roughly the same thing I'm doing on the steel and bulkheads and everything on here as what I'm doing on the ship, and it's best if it's all done in one process, so I find anyway. Okay, all right, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on the Friday live stream. Otherwise I'll see you next week, which will be in part 19 of our 1-200 Yamato build. Okay guys, thanks a lot. See you in the next video.
just you.